And now we have on our trip around the world, we have been to Melbourne, we went to Tokyo, we jumped over to Denmark, and now we're coming back to Hong Kong. And I would like to ask, as the last speaker to the stage, Mrs. Katharine Choi. And she is a Principal Assistant Secretary for the Environment in the field of energy in the Environment Bureau of Hong Kong here in your hometown. So please, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. I think it's a very great experience that we can learn from cities around the world how people can finance, incentivize private building to improve their energy efficiency. And in Hong Kong, we have a very different story. I think these figures are very familiar to you because it has been told in also the speech of our Secretary Yao, the Environment Secretary in Hong Kong, and also in the speech of our Chief Executive. In Hong Kong, about 90% of the electricity used in our Hong Kong is by buildings. So we put a lot of focus to improve energy efficiency of our building in order to bring down our greenhouse gas emission. So I think the easiest way to do in Hong Kong is not by tax. Unfortunately, we have a very different political environment in Hong Kong, and it's by government funding, but not full funding. You will see the story in the latest slides. It's a matching fund concept. We have put 450 million Hong Kong dollar building energy efficiency funding scheme to incentivize our private sector to provide half of the funding for them to improve energy efficiency of their building. It's not only retrofitting project, I must say. It's a retrofitting project and energy carbon audit projects, because we are also promoting them to do medical checkups, so to speak, for buildings by doing energy carbon audits. So the funding is a two-part funding. 150 million Hong Kong dollars is to subsidize them to do energy carbon audit projects, and another 300 million is to do energy efficiency projects, which are retrofitting projects into the buildings. The energy carbon audit projects are subsidies for them to conduct energy audits and carbon audits in the same audits, which can help them systematically review the use of energy and quantify the greenhouse gas emission associated with buildings. And the focus is to identify opportunities for enhancing the energy efficiency and conservation in the building. The funding can be used for any projects that is committed in the communal area of commercial, residential, and industrial buildings. The energy carbon audit projects has to be conducted in accordance with the guidelines that is issued by the government on energy audits and also carbon audits. And for energy efficiency projects, it's quite interesting retrofitting projects that are conducted on lighting, electrical, air conditioning, and lift and escalator installations in building. In Hong Kong, you'll see that we are in subtropical climate, and air conditioning use a lot of our power in Hong Kong. About 30% of power consumption in buildings are consumed by air conditioning. So air conditioning is one of our focus. These fundings can be applied by owners corporation, owners organization, and residential organizations of buildings. And the fund commenced in April last year. So what is the matching fund concept? It is that the government only finances 50% of the cost of the project, and for energy carbon audit, the cap of the funding is about 19,000 US dollar, and for the energy efficiency project, the cap of the funding is about 64,000 US dollar per building per application. So far, we have received more than 1,200 applications, and we have already approved over 600 applications with the total funding amount amounting to $26 million already. These approved projects, they contribute over 100 million kilowatt-hour energy saving per year, and also a reduction in carbon emission of about 75,000 tons carbon emission, and create 37,000 man-month jobs. Then we come to the most important part. What is the impact of this funding to our community? Given that we have a building stock of about 41,000 buildings in Hong Kong, and the application are from 8,000 buildings, so we have 1 in 5 buildings have already submitted applications. And we are very happy that we can mobilize owners of different type of buildings to join hands with us, because you see that the applications are from commercial, industrial, and residential buildings in Hong Kong. And among the residential buildings, not only the well-off people can enjoy, even the people from home ownership scheme and tenant purchase scheme, that these are quite government buildings, they also submit applications. And you can see from the variety of briefings that we have done for our building owners, that you can see that different types of building are interested in the funding. We have conducted briefing for property owners, district council, local organizations, to even property management companies. We have also conducted a lot of different briefing for our professional sectors, even for our technicians and workers of the trade. Of course, it involves our engineering organizations. So this funding is a seed in joining force of different sectors, pull together their talents and their intelligence to work together. And we have now already 350 qualified service provider for energy carbon orders for the projects. So if you want to know more about our scheme, please go to our website, and it will tell more details which may be of use to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting. If I may ask you a question.
Sure.
You touched on an issue that hasn't been discussed very much this afternoon. That's the education of the trade. It was mentioned once. I think the subsidies that you give are already very productive, in the sense that those people who are educated in the field will go out into the market themselves to sign up customers for these appliances. Is that the case? Or do you see that happening, that people go out to deploy the things that they learned in this program by themselves as a business proposition?
I think as a commercial city in Hong Kong, the most clever way to do it is to incentivize the trade to go to find their own customer to do it. So most of the briefing that we do is for the trade, for the engineering sector, and also for the technician and worker. They would find their way to approach their customer, to incentivize their customer to work out the applications themselves.
So it means if we talk about behavior, it's not only the end consumer, it's also the behavior of the trade that can be changed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you very much for this insight, and take a seat as well.